Hey, I'm Matt Malone with Therapy Thursdays. Opportunities for you to kind of re examine where you're at and hopefully help you make some choices that are in your control to make things better. And we're going to talk a little bit about that because, honestly, this time of year, it's an interesting time of year with weather changes and all of that. So we bring in now Jacqueline Rafter with New Insights LLC. Jacqueline, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing
Nice to
fantastic.
see you.
And yeah, it's great to see you too. And, on days like today where, there's rain in the forecast and it's gloomy, the weather's cool, this is a very interesting time for us to try to, I don't know, find the silver lining, the brightness in a day
Mm-hmm.
that is rainy and gloomy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This time of year, people can have a really hard time just with their energy levels. Their sleep patterns are off. The sun is doing its own thing, and it is not what we like it to do. It's not awake when we're awake. It's sleeping when we're sleeping or when we're awake. And so it can really, really mess with people and their even just their chemicals. We get serotonin from the sun. Um, and that's just not happening right now. So all of the things that are happening, even just with the weather right now, can be really, really taxing on our bodies and even on our moods and our energies.
Yeah, and it's hard to again keep that same like, all right, hey, this is something that happens every year. We'll get through. We'll push
Mm-hmm.
through. It's hard to keep that light at the end of the tunnel mentality
Mm-hmm.
that it's just weather and we need to find good things. And honestly, there are some great ideas here for us to maybe have that self awareness because I feel like that's step one is being aware that all right, I know that this is actually how I'm feeling instead of
Mm-hmm.
maybe neglecting those
Mm-hmm.
feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. Just calling it out and acknowledging that this is the dark season or this is the cold season. And I love talking about life in terms of seasons because everything is just kind of always changing, right? Always changing. And so if we try to do the cold season the way that we do the warm season, we're just going to be super disappointed. And so I brought with me a list of things today that can really kind of help people think about how to boost their mood, boost their energy levels. I always like to talk when I talk about mood, I like to talk about energy levels because when we don't have energy, we don't have good moods. And when we don't have energy, the people around us are feeling that. And especially as parents, when you don't have good energy, your kids aren't getting the attention that they're needing, and then they're begging for attention and power, and it just becomes this big tornado of not fun in the house. And so energy and mood and it all gets wrapped up together. So I have a list here of things that people can do to really kind of get those tiny little pieces of energy and pieces of good moods today.
I think that's great. But, I think when we cover that, maybe let's start with the signs of maybe having that recognition that we are maybe feeling
Mm-hmm.
down. And then, because I know that there's a lot of things that are maybe a little obvious, like, just feeling sad or
Mm-hmm.
not feeling anything. But there's more to that, right?
Yeah, so we have things like adjustment, and then we have low mood, and then we have like an actual depression. When we talk about an actual depression, we're talking about symptoms that have been going on for about two weeks or more. Before that, we really want to think about like, is it just kind of an internal thing? Is it an external thing? Is it what's going on in my world that's causing me to be down? But some of those signs or symptoms are things that people don't usually think about when you think about low mood or depression. And some of those, so sad, absolutely, just inability to feel happy can be a symptom. Being angry and irritable and easily frustrated by the littlest things can be a sign or a symptom of depression. Sleeping too much or sleeping too little, wanting to isolate and just pull back and just not interact with people. Difficulty concentrating, having slowed thoughts, or even just slowed movements where you just can't get your body going. Loss of interest or pleasure in doing things that you typically do enjoy doing. And then again, low energy, fatigue, low self esteem. So just really feeling bad about yourself. And then, thoughts of death or thoughts of suicide, or all of those are your symptoms of depression.
Yeah. And thoughts of death and thoughts of suicide, especially, please reach out to somebody and
Mm-hmm.
talk to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
especially an expert like Jacqueline,
Mm-hmm.
who can definitely help out with this. in having a conversation, an unbiased, open conversation, which is so important. So,
Mhm.
all right, so we went through this list of these different signs of, all right, seasonal depression or depression in
Yep.
general. Let's look at the opposite side. How do we pull ourselves out of that
Mhm.
funk and get back to the better side of good?
Mhm. So there's 2 rules that I like to talk to people about, and they're not really conflicting. You just kind of have to figure out which one fits you. The first one is get out of your head and get out of your house. So get out of the house and do something. Do something connecting to other people. Do something on this list that I'm going to go through, but get out of the house. I think so often, we're in the house. It's the same stuff every day, all the time. It's easy to isolate. And then the ruminating thoughts start happening, right? All the things that we're not happy about, either in our lives or in our world or in what we're doing. So get out of the house, get out of your head. And the other one is opposite of emotion. To do the opposite of emotion, especially when you're down, that's going to be really important. When you want to isolate, you need to know you need to get out there and connect. Even if you don't leave to connect, make a phone call, make a text, really do some sort of connecting. When you want to eat or overeat, find something different to cope. When you want to sleep, find something to do to keep yourself awake. So opposite of emotion, or get out of your house, get out of your head.
I think the getting out of your house and getting out of your head thing is something that I can attest that I have done.
Mhm,
My buddy Brad and I have this thing that we call it beach therapy. Right? We're so lucky to live in an area that we are,
mhm,
where something as simple like you think about the year or so that we were all stay at home, that kind of stuff. Still had the opportunity to be able to get
mhm,
out and go to a lookout in St. Joe or whatever,
mhm.
and just go look at the water and just enjoy that. And that made me feel so much better personally.
And even though it's cold, the beach is still there.
Mhm.
And it's
Absolutely.
still as magnificent and powerful as it is all year long.
Yeah, and I tell you what, no matter how cold it is too, going for a light walk, unless it's like obviously dangerously cold weather, but going for just a quick walk too and getting that fresh air,
Mhm,
stop breathing in the same air in your house and go and experience that. That is super, super helpful as well. I love the
mhm,
idea too of the opposite emotions because, um, yeah, it seems like it's, going against the grain, if
mhm,
you will, but it definitely will help pick you up out of that funk. And especially going and connecting with people when you feel like not connecting,
mhm,
people will light a fire with you and say, you know what, this is cool. I'm so glad I talked to this person.
mhm,
So, and you never know what they're going through too, right?
mhm.
You could be
So
helping
there's
them.
that.
Hmm. Absolutely. All right.
Mhm.
So let's talk about some other things too, because
Yeah.
I mentioned going for a walk. Obviously, exercise is a great
Mhm,
option. Finding ways to laugh.
mhm.
Your diet also plays a role in this.
Mhm. So there's different chemicals that affect our mood: dopamine, serotonin, your endorphins, your oxytocins, your norepinephrines. So I have a list here of things that can help with each of those things. So dopamine's just completing a task. Dopamine is your reward pleasure chemical. So just completing a task, that self-care, that to-do list. Don't give yourself a hard time. If that's on your mind, go get it done. Some sort of self-care activity, eating delicious foods, celebrating an event, learning a dance routine. Big TikTok fans, right? So
Right.
listening to your favorite song. Oh my gosh, there is something that can be so powerful about music. I kid you not, man. I have done work with folks, and I'll talk to them about music, and they'll say I haven't listened to music in however long, or they're listening but they're not singing, and they used to sing, and the minute you get them to start singing again, like, boy, their energy, just their life just starts to come back into them. There's something so powerful about music. So listening to favorite songs, thinking, planning about goals, planning a trip, planning a get together, even just that planning can really boost the dopamine. Creating and doing art or something to that effect can really boost those dopamines. Your oxytocins are the love hormones. So playing even just with the dog or the cat, playing with the babies. If you don't have energy, that can be really hard. Do it anyway. Have a conversation with yourself that says, I'm going to be the best mom or dad for the next hour. Just give it an hour, give it a time frame, and really go for it. And then let that build on itself. Just snuggling, If you don't have the energy, throw a movie in. Don't worry about it. It's okay. All parents do it. Even if they tell you they don't, they do. Have a movie night, have a pizza night, and just do the snuggling thing. Hugging friends and family, giving compliments, community service, all of those things can really help to boost that oxytocin levels. Your endorphins, those are your positive feelings. So that's where the laughter comes in. Watching a comedy, watching your favorite movie, YouTube. I'm a super fan of YouTube. You can find funny stuff really quick on there. Dark chocolates, heat. Anyone who knows me knows I'm always cold. And so I've always got the heating pads, the heat in the back of the seat in the car. But those heating pads really do fire up those endorphins. Doing something really exciting can be in that place too. So if roller coasters, your indoor water parks right now can be a really good time. And then if you believe in essential oils, a lot of people do, they can be super helpful. And they can have that scent too, can bring back, think about those good memories, those peppermints, if they're good, the smell of grass and all of those things. So the oils, the smells, all of that, those senses can fire up. And then finally, serotonin, sunshine.
Mhm.
If you're really having a hard time with the light being gone, they do make, they're called happy lamps, and they can start from $20 and they can go get really high. But they stimulate it tells the brain to make that serotonin. And it's like a daylight for you. It's a lamp. Still going to the beach, walking or hiking. We talked about eating turkey.
Yes.
Turkey and fish increase serotonin, and then actually doing some self-esteem exercises. So anytime you take care of yourself, when we are really depressed, we don't want to take a shower, we don't want to do any of that. So that's why opposite emotion is so important, because anything that you do to take care of yourself is absolutely a self-esteem exercise. And then connect with your people, connect with someone, talk to a stranger. It really does boost those feel-good chemicals, Matt.
Yeah. Just so if anybody's wondering, if you're, needing some music, I might know a place to help you out.
Matt knows a guy.
I might know a guy. Yeah, we'll take care of you. All great information. And honestly, I know that we can continue talking for probably hours on this, because this is something that I feel like everybody experiences too. So knowing that everybody experiences this, if somebody wants to have a conversation or get a little bit better idea, we have opportunities for setting up appointments with you. And this is cool. I want to throw this out there too. There is a famous Olympic swimmer who also has commercials talking about virtual sessions, but now we can do virtual sessions with somebody right here in Southwest Michigan without having to drive to you. So we can do this. Tell me a little bit more about what we can do.
So we're all online. I actually have myself and two other therapists. I have a therapist. One of our therapists really specializes in working with children, and she specializes in working with folks of the LGBTQ community. And then I have another therapist who is a generalist. So he does anxiety, depression, and actually couples and relationship premarital therapy. Because especially this time of year, can be really hard on kids and really hard on couples trying to work through. So give me a call. I will talk to you. We'll talk to you about what's going on and who you think or we think will be the best fit to get those needs met for you. 269-325-5056.
There you go. It is New Insights LLC. Jacqueline, again, such a great conversation every time that we talk, and I appreciate that. And we look forward to, eventually getting back to springtime. But for the time being, we've got a lot of great things to set us up for success. So thank you.
You're
All right.
welcome.
We'll
Thanks,
talk
Matt.
with you soon. You bet.
Okay.
All right. There we go. Therapy Thursdays with New Insights LLC. Yeah. Southwest Michigan's 97.5 Y Country.